designed to protect those God-given rights. You need to understand what the Founding Fathers were fighting for. You need to understand what other Americans have fought for over many generations. You know, I was just in Tampa, St. Petersburg area yesterday. Yeah, I had a 98-year-old World War II veteran there. You know, we don't see as many of those guys anymore. But every student that graduates in Florida should understand, why did those guys fight Nazi Germany and Japan? What would the world have looked like if they didn't do that? Why did we win a Cold War against Marxism, Leninism, and defeat the Soviet Union? And so there's going to be people that go into a wide variety of occupations. You're going to have people go into different sectors of the economy. Some will pursue higher education. Some will go straight to vocational training. Some will even go straight to the workforce. But every single person that our school system produces will be called upon to exercise the duties of being an American citizen. And we owe it not only to ourselves and our kids and our grandkids, we owe it to the people that have come before us, that have sacrificed so that we could be a free society. We owe it to them to make sure that these students are graduating with a foundation of knowledge, that they understand these key things about American history and what it means to be an American. And you know what? If they have that proper foundation and they want to go off into the world and do some of these other things, you know, so be it. But we are doing a disservice if we're just graduating a bunch of students who are listless vessels, who don't have a good grounding in what makes America unique. That we would not have as many divisions in this country as we do if we had done a better job with civics over the last generation. And so we're working to get it right in Florida. When I became governor, it wasn't even required in high school. Now it's a requirement in high school. We're going to be having the graduating seniors take citizenship exams like our naturalized immigrants have to do. We're going to have teachers have opportunity to attend what we're saying is civics boot camp, a training that's really teaching the truth about what it means to be an American and the key concepts that these students need to know. And they're going to get a $3,000 bonus if they go through there. We've also launched a civics and debate initiative that's already grown fourfold just in the last 2 years. And so we're putting our money where our mouth is. We understand how important this is. Ultimately, our country is based on the idea, as Benjamin Franklin said, we're a republic, but only if you can keep it. And so don't think we're going to keep this if we keep having a generation of ignorance. And so we're changing that in Florida, and I think our kids are going to be much better off as a result of what we've been able to do. We're also understand that it's a big growing state. There's a lot of things, and just understand, I'm not going out asking people to move to Florida. You know, some governors like beg, come to my state, come to my state. We've got great people. We've got a lot going on. It's a free country. People can choose where they want to go. It just so happens that the contrast between life in Florida and life in these other lockdown states or left-wing states has been so stark that it has caused more people to come. And so that's just the reality that we're dealing with. And so we've got to make sure we have the infrastructure in place to be able to support that in terms of transportation and other things. So the budget I signed that'll go into effect July 1st, that's the biggest transportation budget we've ever had in the history of Florida. And so we're working to get ahead of all this to make sure we can do, and it's not just, you know, the traffic in some areas can get really bad, like I-4. You know, you try to go in Central Florida from Tampa towards Orlando, and you can stop at any time, and that's a major hassle, but it also interrupts commerce. It's hard to move things back and forth. So we're sensitive to that, and we're going to continue to work hard to be able to do something about that, and I think the state will be better off as a result of it. You also look at our opportunities for different types of industries. I mean, you know, agriculture has been one of our top for the whole history of the state. Obviously, tourism is a big industry. Not only did we lead in domestic in 2021, so far in 2022, of all foreign visitors into the United States, 45% of them went to the state of Florida. No state has ever had that big of a share of foreign tourism. But if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Would you want to leave a foreign country to come to the United States and then show up in a state that's going to force you to show your medical papers just to have a cheeseburger or get a beer? Are you going to want to have someone making you wear a mask? Of course not. So people knew that if you came to Florida, you could actually have a vacation. You could actually live like a human being. And so we've been able to really benefit as a result of that. But it raises the issue of how we've protected people from mandates, because a lot of other states imposed COVID vax mandates on the population. Some of them imposed it on school children to be able to attend school. And so we banned the mandates in the state of Florida. You have a right to work, and government cannot take that away from you simply because you made a different choice on one of these COVID jabs. And so that saved tens of thousands of jobs. We saved jobs of police officers, firefighters, nurses, even people in private companies like Disney was going to fire a lot of their employees, if they didn't get the jab. And then they make you get all the boosters. And some people don't want to do that. And so we believe in having that choice for the individual and not discriminating based on how they've done it. But one of the things we did very early on with the legislature, we banned vaccine passports in the state of Florida. So you cannot be made to show your medical papers just to live society and attend these different things. And if we had not done that, there's no way our tourism would have boomed the way it did. Because if one business did passports, then people would have said Florida had passports, and it would have been a big, big problem. We even were able, most recently, to stick up for some of our athletes with developmental disabilities. The International Special Olympics bureaucracy banned all unvaccinated Special Olympians from participating in the Special Olympics in Orlando, which happened a couple weeks ago. So we had people, these athletes and their families were really distraught. I mean, these are people that have Down syndrome, have other developmental disabilities. They've been training and wanting to participate in the Special Olympics for a long time. Many of them were told by their doctors not to get the COVID jab. And oh, by the way, if you get the COVID jab, it's not stopping you from getting infected. I mean, people are getting it. Fauci's had like 16 booster shots and he just got COVID. So, and it's fine. Like, you make the choice you want to make. So you make the choices you want to make on that, and I don't begrudge anyone for whatever they do. But to discriminate against somebody with Down syndrome or who has other disabilities and to cast them aside, that was not appropriate. And it violated Florida law. So we made sure that we spoke with this international bureaucracy. We let them know that that's not the way Florida does business. And we were able to get 100 Special Olympians reinstated into the Special Olympics. So we're looking forward to the election coming up this year. I think it's going to be a red wave. I think that you've had a situation where the policies that have been in place have been destructive from a federal level. I think a lot of people are seeing that, and I think a lot of people are going to want to go out and express that at the ballot box. I also think in Florida, we got a lot of enthusiasm to continue the course that we've set as governor. A lot of people are genuinely appreciative of what we've been able to do to keep them in business, to keep them working, or to keep their kids in school. And throughout the whole time, we stood up for working people. And so I think you have a lot of appreciation out there. I think you're going to see a lot of people want to come out to vote. And I think we're going to have the biggest Republican turnout that we've ever had in the history of any of these governor's races. So, and I should point out, because people will say, hey, people are moving here. We've led the nation in net in-migration. But sometimes people will leave a bad governed area